Hey guys, it's Rob from Ultimate Diesel Tuning, and behind me is a 2017 Toyota TRD N80 HiLux, and it's been into our workshop a few times for modifications. But we've got Marty, he's the owner of the vehicle, who's come in. We're going to have a bit more of a chat to him about everything he's done to his HiLux. Hi Marty, thanks for bringing the HiLux in. Good to see you again.
You too.
About 2 years ago, we did the first tune on this car, part of the modification you have done. Tell us a little about what you've done over the 2 years with us and the experience, but firstly the tune, about 25% gain in power and torque, 30%?
25% gain.
Yeah.
Tuned it after only for 6 months. Got a tune, next day up to Cairns.
Yeah, right.
Went beautifully the whole way. Great on fuel.
Yeah. Oh,
I tow a lot, so I worked for Kawasaki. I towed jet skis all day,
Yeah.
and then I bought a camper and we decided we needed more power.
Yeah, right. Intercooler?
Intercooler, first thing, and then we had a chat about a retune,
Yeah.
and then moving forward we started talking about other options.
Yeah, so obviously we retune it, which creates the efficiency with the intercooler. But the next thing was Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Rob, I want some more power.
I want some more power, so we come in, got the ultimate package,
Yeah.
turbo, did a bunch of things at the same time, a lot better on power,
Yeah.
and it actually pretty good on fuel too.
Yeah,
So,
good.
which I'm happy about.
When we tune the car, we see 25 to 30% gain out of your car. We did obviously the intercooler, which is the efficiency, which I spoke about. The turbo, if I remember correctly, we saw about 50% gain in torque.
At least. Very impressive, great on power. It's actually more power than my V6 used to have, so I'm happy with that. Yeah.
The next piece of the puzzle, and it's the final piece you've done to the car, which I think a lot of people like to hear about this, but don't know a lot about it, is the transmission lockup kit. So we've just done this 3 weeks ago to your car. You told me this is your first automatic.
This is my first automatic in driving for 25 years,
Yeah.
first auto. I'm in traffic 2-3 hours a day.
Yeah, right.
A manual was just not an option anymore.
Yeah.
Auto, got
I think
one of
that's an
these.
age thing.
Yeah,
We
it
get
is.
to the point at our age
Yeah.
where we've had enough of driving the manual.
We have. I got the auto, I loved it, but it wants to change gears all the time.
Yeah.
That's when I needed to have a chat and talk about what we can do about this.
Yeah.
So you recommended the Trans Pack.
Yeah.
I put it in and I wish I did that first.
Yeah,
it's,
right.
It's brilliant. It's one of the best things I've done to the actual car itself.
So take someone on the journey who doesn't know. I mean, obviously we've spoken about in videos about our trans packs and how they work really effectively with the Toyotas. What was the first thing you noticed when you got out on the highway and drove home with the transmission lockup
So
kit?
most times on the highway we're doing 80, 90, 100. You're touching the throttle and it wants to drop back 2 gears and surge forward, and it's one of those things that just an annoyance.
Yeah.
With the Trans Pack, it just held the gear that I wanted to stay in and then use the torque of the engine to bring it up to
And you're
speed.
leaving it in D?
I'm leaving it in D. I'm
Yep.
not touching it. It's
Yep.
just touch the throttle, and it actually behaves like a manual would do if you left it in 6th gear.
Yeah, great.
That's what I like about it.
So Marty, one of the big things we hear from customers is when they fit the transmission packs, that 5th and 6th gear stops really hunting and sort of, I suppose what you'd call is flaring the auto.
Yes.
Would you agree that's with
I
yours?
definitely agree. That's gone now.
Yeah.
You may get a hint of it, but it's not there like it used to be.
Yeah.
Fuel saving, like I was using 12 litres per 100 with the 33 tyres.
Yeah.
I'm now down to the 8s and 10s. Like
Wow.
the hip pockets liking it, the wife's liking the lower fuel bills.
Yeah.
Everything's going really well. So
Awesome.
I think that's nail in the coffin. That's perfect.
Well, Marty, I think to summarise, you've done the tune
Yeah.
over the 2 years ago.
Yep.
You came back with the intercooler and obviously created those efficiencies for when you're towing.
You did.
On top of that, you wanted some extra power, which you fitted one of our ultimate turbos, which are the high flow N80 turbos.
We did, yes.
And now you've done the transmission like it's the absolute ultimate torque package with everything we'd recommend for an N80 HiLux.
Yeah.
The positive thing for me and a lot of people is not only have you got the power there, but you've also got the better drivability with the automatic, and that's really important through the trans pack.
It is, yeah. I'm happy with the car overall, and I wish that they actually sold it this way, but I don't need a new car. This is doing what I need to do.
Oh,
yeah.
I think the car looks great,
Yeah.
it drives well. You mentioned you're towing, obviously, whether it be jet skis or your camper a lot.
I'm towing the camper a lot, and like when I'm towing the camper, it used to be 14, 16 litres per 100.
Yeah,
We're
right.
now down 10 to 12s, towing a
Wow.
2.5 tonne camper.
Yeah.
There's nothing to not like about that extra fuel saving.
Yeah, great. Well, guys, I think that's really important. What Marty's been able to share with us is that experience from a person who's never really had an automatic to having this car for 2 years and now just recently putting the automatic transmission lockup kit and trans tune into the HiLux. And I'd be fair to say, with your words, Marty, he wished he had done that when he first got the vehicle.
Absolutely.
Well, Marty, thanks for bringing the HiLux back in today. Really
worries.
happy to hear the results of your evolution over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing I want to share with customers, which we don't talk enough about, is the actual trans pack in the HiLux. So you've shared some experience with what you've noticed from those changes.
Yes.
And to anyone else there who's got an N80 HiLux and really would like to improve the shift points and the drivability within the transmission, make sure you give us a call and speak to one of our diesel experts at Ultimate Diesel Tuning. And also remember, if you've got a common rail diesel and would like to improve the performance, speak to one of our diesel experts or drop into one of our performance centres in Brisbane, Gold Coast and Melbourne. And we've also got a dealer network all around Australia. And make sure you subscribe to Ultimate Diesel Tuning on YouTube.